Welcome to Full Frontal. I'm Samantha Bee. Last year, around this time, experts were urging everyone to cancel their usual Thanksgiving plans because of COVID-19, which ironically gave us all something to truly be thankful for, an ironclad excuse not to visit our families. But this year, we have good news and bad news. The good news is that the pandemic is getting better. The bad news, your ass is going home for the holidays.
I think if you're having a small gathering, a couple of families indoors, everyone's vaccinated, the adults certainly, I honestly would feel pretty safe about that.
If you get vaccinated and your family's vaccinated, you can feel good about enjoying a typical Thanksgiving, Christmas with your family and close friends.
God damn it! And you know it's true if Fauci's saying it, because that guy hates his family. Why do you think he spent so much time going to the office during a pandemic? Unfortunately, for those of us who loved having ourselves an all-pie Thanksgiving alone, this year we might be able to enjoy a relatively normal Turkey Day. In terms of COVID, things are safer than they were last year, although, of course, we should never enjoy Thanksgiving too much. Got to keep some of those birds alive to get their freak on for next year. The risk of being fully vaccinated in the U.S. and dying from COVID is less than 1 out of 100,000. That means your risk of dying of COVID is less than dying from electrocution. Unless, of course, that's your kink. It's called Uncle Festering. No judgment. If it works for Joan Cusack, it should work for you. But even if everyone at your Thanksgiving has gotten the shot, it's probably still a good idea to take some of the same precautions you did last year.
If you have to travel, make sure that you're wearing a mask, especially when you're in closed spaces around people whose vaccination status you're not aware of.
Serving dinner buffet style is now okay, but keeping the windows open is still a good idea. So is having rapid tests on hand, and knowing the vaccination status of those on your guest list can help you plan.
I think you have to weigh the risks and the benefits in terms of what you do and how you do it.
Just like you have to weigh the risks of deep frying your turkey and getting third-degree burns on most of your body against the benefits of that turkey being delicious. You should also take further precautions if any of your guests are immunocompromised or if they're young children who haven't received the vaccine. For example, since children under 5 aren't yet able to get vaccinated, you might want to leave them in the car with the window open a crack. And before someone complains, yes, I know, you also need to leave them an iPad. Jesus Christ, not a monster. But there are still things to be worried about, even if everyone is vaccinated and your dinner isn't ruined when the turkey's mourning family shows up to pay their respects. Oh shit, his mistress came too? Now it'll be real awkward. When his wife saw her, she was like, look, traveling during a pandemic is risky, but if you're one of the many Americans heading to states where cases are rising, you'll need to take further precautions.
Nearly half the country seeing new COVID cases soaring. 21 states reporting a surge in infections and rising hospitalizations in 17 states and territories.
Infections among the unvaccinated continue to fuel this pandemic.
Now it's hitting the Midwest, particularly Michigan, Illinois, Minnesota. Parts of the West, you mentioned New Mexico and Colorado are being very hard hit. There are even some areas in the Northeast where there's been an upsurge in cases.
And I'm sure it's just a coincidence. This is Eric Clapton's exact tour schedule. But it's not just the hot spots and Clapton concerts where you need to be extra careful. Much like the virus itself, science-denying protests have spread out all over the country. Hundreds of public workers in New York City protested vaccine mandates outside City Hall. A California parent attacked a teacher over a mask dispute. And planes are now full of passengers ready to punch a flight attendant for freedom. Flight attendants are reporting increasingly dangerous work conditions, and the FAA has even issued more than $1 million in fines to unruly airline passengers.
We are seeing unruly passenger events at a rate of 60 times the normal number of events in a year.
In all, we found at least 2,600 passengers who've been banned from commercial airlines for failure to follow simple COVID rules.
The men were pulled off a Spirit flight, and the struggle continued right in the middle of the airport.
We're told that 2 passengers refused to comply with mask rules.
Come on. How dare you civil?
That shit. Let's just say if I were on any of those planes, things would have gone down a little differently, because I would use every airline employee as a human shield. I'm only brave on television. As stressful as holiday travel will be, we do have a reason to celebrate a surprising twist in pandemic year 2. Some anti-vaxxers actually are getting the vaccine due to social pressure and work mandates, but not everything's changed. They're still very stupid.
New reporting among anti-vaccine groups online, some of them turning to home remedies that will, quote unquote, devaccinate them. In theory, letting them prove to their employers or whomever that they got the shot without it being in their systems.
Cupping is a healing therapy used in traditional Chinese medicine to help ease muscle pain. Vaccine skeptics say the technique can be used to remove the vaccine after injection.
Detox, detox, detox. So if you got a bathtub, someone's got a bathtub, you add in 1 cup of borax, that laundry detergent, that'll take nanotechnology out of you.
Oh my God, do not listen to that TikTok woman. You can't devaccinate people. At best, boraxing yourself will give you a chemical burn, but at worst, you could turn into the Joker. Even worse, it's the Jared Leto Joker. To be clear, there is no way to detox from a vaccination, and I can't believe I have to say this, but it is not safe to cut holes in your body or take baths in the same stuff they use to unclog drains, clean toilets, clear grout, wash floors. Oh my God, borax is useful for everything but getting out vaccines. Look, no one should advocate for anyone to do things that will hurt themselves or anyone else. But if what it takes for you to get your shot is believing you can detox yourself afterwards, then, sir, I raise my glass of bleach to you. But for the rest of you non-bleach drinkers who believed in science and have been vaxxed all along, it is my most sincere regret to wish you a happy, semi-back-to-normal Thanksgiving this year. Suck it up, stay safe, and maybe next year we'll get lucky and be wiped out by an asteroid. Honestly, it'd still be better than hearing your creepy uncle say he likes the breast meat in that tone again, especially when he shows up with his new fiancée, the turkey mistress. It was so fast. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to hear more from Full Frontal, like and subscribe. If you'd like to hear some opinions from a man in a lifted truck, leave YouTube on autoplay.